ready. Looks like she's just about ready, so it's after 6, well after 6, so we'll call our meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, very good. Okay, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda this evening? I don't believe there's any. So, roll has been taken. And then we'll entertain a motion for the approval of the April 9th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
Move approval.
Okay, motion and support. Any comments or questions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Moving on to C, hearings. First up, we have to set a public hearing for Tuesday, May 14th, 2019 at 6 p.m. to consider the creation of an obsolete property rehabilitation district for the property located at 317 North State for the purpose of creating upper story apartments. Your pleasure.
Move we set the hearing.
Have any comments or questions? Full disclosure, I'm owner of that building, so I will be abstaining.
Above Terry's cycle.
Yeah, Terry's in the Academy for Performing Arts.
ABA, yeah.
Yep, so. Okay, with no comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried, and I abstain, please. Number 2 is to set a public hearing for Tuesday, May 14th, 2019 at 6:05 p.m. to consider the creation of an obsolete property rehabilitation district for the property located at properties, located at 116, 118, and 120 East Superior for the purposes of creating upper story apartments again. So your pleasure.
Move to set the hearing. Support.
We have a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions?
That's Hellman's, what else?
No.
It's Nancy.
One more.
Gallagher.
Nancy, okay.
Over to the yellow.
Okay, over to the yellow.
Right.
And Carver Edition, what used to be Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Moving on to F, recommendation of bids. First up, we have receipt of bids for the 2019 pavement marking contract. The following bids were received on April 16th, 2019, and we have 2. Recommended bidder is Advanced Pavement Marking LLC of West Olive, Michigan, $28,535. Wow.
Do you know what we budgeted for that?
I do not.
We did not
Does
budget
David?
anything this current year for it. I've got it budgeted for 2020. So if you accept it, I've got it budgeted for the 2020 budget, so if you accept it, we won't start till after July 1.
Okay, it's next fiscal year.
Yes.
Okay.
Striping the roads and
Striping.
crosswalks
Gotcha.
and.
Okay. Yes, my
That's
driver's training student says, why aren't there lines on these roads? You just gotta know, buddy, you just gotta know.
Imagine that.
That's just what we
You'll
used to
know
catch you.
Figured out.
Dave, are they gonna do the, like the curb yellow?
Yes.
That's not a part of this program, no. This is line striping for your center lines, for the fog lines, and stop lines, things like that.
Do we have anything in mind for doing the blue for handicap and yellow on the curbs?
It's not a part of this. I don't know if that'll be a volunteer thing that we'll look at or not, but it's not a part of this program. And it's not a budget.
Well, we don't have that much yellow curb anymore, with the bump outs now.
Most of it's, those are gone. They're pretty good
Gone
work.
with the yellow and a couple smaller.
You're right, there's hardly any yellow.
From there. Yeah, the black now, from there.
You
but I
can't
think-
see them.
Yeah, I think it would be that would be a good volunteer program to
Absolutely.
get done. Justin, see.
I'm hearing volunteers right in this room right now. so-
Maybe that could be the football again in August.
For the purposes of enforcement, the signage is what counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, from that, it just cleans things up, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be a good plan
For the plan is to let those marks disappear and then use the signs.
I tried to get that last year, remember?
He went out and painted stuff in front of the theater by himself.
So anyway, did I get a
But you're
motion on
saying
that?
you
I
don't
think
want,
I
you
did.
want
So-
us to pay attention to the signs, so you're
That's
hoping.
Correct.
We have a
It's
motion
So
to
do we
support.
want to do that even? I mean, is that
What's
a,
that, sir?
so would we even want someone to paint, if we
Something
want
we
people to
would-
pay attention to
Something
the
we should
signs?
consider anyway, because most of the yellow's been worn off to nothing, and
Right,
that's
but
been
you're
historically
saying they
been the
didn't
plan.
want it to.
And the
Well, but there's
signs-
no other markings in front of like fire hydrants.
Correct, we don't paint in front of, other than stripes, like in front of the college, that area where that hydrant's in the way, but historically, no, they're not striped in front of that. This is just strictly
'Cause you're
line
supposed to
striping
know.
for regulatory and
Yeah.
street
Yeah.
surface. To make your streets,
No, we
turn
don't
lanes, that
stripes.
type of thing.
It would be just an extra, it's an extra, cue for
Sure.
people, and it's an aesthetic cue. That's really what
Looks
it is.
nice.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Aesthetic,
It doesn't,
very
from an enforcement standpoint, it means absolutely.
Don't need any for
zero.
the aesthetic, yeah.
Oh, if you do it wrong, it could be very misleading. It could reinforce your sign, it should.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a big negative if you do it wrong. So we did have a motion of support. Are there any other additional comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Okay, thank you. Moving to resolutions. Consideration of a resolution approving the Elma Highland Festival Committee's request to operate their entertainment tent from 6:30 to 1 a.m. on Friday, May 24th, and from noon to 1 a.m. on Saturday, May 25th, and 1 to 6 p.m. on Sunday, May 26th, pursuant to ordinance number 695, which allows the city commission to approve the 3-day variance to the noise ordinance.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion support. Are comments or questions? It's more than just noise, it's music. Come on. So,
All right.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Okay, we'll move down to reports. We have, what is it, 2 more? 2, it looks like. Okay, gonna check the next page. Commissioners may receive the following 2 reports. By one resolution, or any commissioner may remove an item within the section for individual discussion and vote. We have the Transit Center March 2019 report and the City of Alma Property Reappraisal report for 4/18 of 2019. Very specific date on that one, so.
Move to
Your
receive
pleasure.
both.
Motion for both?
Support.
We have support for both. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor? Opposed, same sign. You have received reports. Moving down to appropriations. You here to pay the bills.
So moved.
Yeah, move approval or support.
Okay, I believe we have a motion and support. Are there any questions about the list of bills being paid? Okay, hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Commissioner comments? Roger, would you like to go first tonight?
Sure.
What do you got?
What I got, Queen of Scots pageant, this Friday night, note the time change from usual Saturday night. They discovered that both Alma and Ithaca's proms were on Saturday, so the Queen of Scots pageant will be held Friday at 7 o'clock at the Heritage Center, as usual. We have 10 queen candidates and 8 weak queen candidates.
Wow,
Go through the
crowded field.
crowded field, always a
Tough
fun time.
competition.
Always a fun time.
All right, Larry?
When are they going to clean up downtown?
KB Cleanup Day will be Saturday, May 18th. May 18th. Flyers are starting to go up this week, so.
That's all I have.
So we'll
Just-
be hearing more. Roxanne?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Nick?
Nothing to add.
Michelle?
I just wanted to thank the volunteers that have went out. We were talking about it at Keep Alma Beautiful last night. We've had students from YAC and other volunteers that have volunteered through the city that have cleaned the River Walk, Wright Park, Riverside Park, is it Riverside Park? Riverside Park and several other areas. And there's also, we also heard last night that people have been seeing pedestrians, citizens of Alma picking up on their personal walks. So we appreciate everybody cleaning up.
That's been interesting. I've noticed that. You have a bag and you think it's their dog, and they don't have a dog with them. And then they're just picking stuff up, putting it in the bag. It's kind of cool.
So thank you to everybody that's doing that.
Contest.
Whoever brings it home.
Bring it to Matt's house.
Yeah, bring it to me.
It's free. Audra?
I'll pass on everything today.
Okay. Quit? Mr. Attorney?
I was at a meeting last night, the Elma High School Hall of Fame, the Sports Hall of Fame, and just to say that applications, or nominations, I guess I should say, for Hall of Fame members, the deadline is July 1st. It's a really neat thing. I don't know if anybody's been to the banquet, but they honor former Elma athletes, coaches, or what they call ambassadors, and you can check with Eric Huff, Mike Miller, myself, but it's a great thing for the city. great thing for the high school, and we can't choose anybody that hasn't been nominated, so if anybody out there has got somebody they feel is deserving, there are some rules as far as eligibility. You have to have graduated at least so many years ago, whatever. Wish I knew all that, I probably should have, but I'm sure you can get that information. But it's something to keep in mind. It's a great thing for the community, I think. And like I said, you want somebody to be in it, you have to nominate.
And they give scholarships away, don't they?
Every year, there's a scholarship to, a young woman, a young man that, from Elma High School, and there are criteria for that, academic, athletic, and community involvement, things like that, very deserving people.
So there's a broader purpose to it.
Absolutely,
Programs,
and they
yeah.
donated money to the Elma High School Athletic Department over the course of time as well, yeah. It's a great thing. I mean, like I said, I think it's just really, it's really interesting, and it's amazing to hear about all these people and what they've done. It's really something. There is a real athletic tradition here. And I think it's helpful to the kids coming up too, when they realize how good these folks were. Gives them something to shoot for too. I think it's a nice deal.
Thank you for your unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
How do you really feel about it, Tony? Okay, man.
Just to let you know that we did start, today was the initial day for ProNexus to be here. The process started today, it's just some introductions, so we're working on that. So that's, continue to move forward.
Okay.
Question, is there any idea when they're gonna pour the asphalt around the playground?
Well, I learned this.
Good
thing, yeah, thank you for asking.
I get that question.
The asphalt plants don't open until May 1st, and so then they'll start kicking it.
We should be on the list.
The gentleman has been down to look, to get a look, and keep your fingers crossed that we don't get a lot of rain, because it's still pretty wet there, and so their hope is, we've made that contact to make sure that we're up there high on the list, so once they start making the asphalt and you can come down and get a grasp on the area, then we'll go as quickly as we can.
I guess before we do that, should we be putting out a base of sand and some drainage on it or something, or?
They will be putting that stuff
Yeah.
down.
They will, that's part of what's gonna happen, so,
It's that whole area.
we're not just gonna put it on top of clay.
No.
You never know, I mean,
Thanks. There we go.
you gotta ask.
Part of the whole site preparation to get it there.
Okay, well, glad to see some spring weather, so nice to see that. Town's looking good. You mentioned people cleaning things up. Good to see the sunshine's nice to have, so. With that, we'll open up to public comments. If you'd like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address, and share your thoughts with us. Who would like to be first? And Lori's on her way, so. You want to meet Lori? You gotta hustle.
Well, this weekend during Easter holiday, my name is Lori Wilson, I'm at 517 in front of B, Michigan. This weekend, everybody from our church had a family that lost their home. And as a citizen, I can thank the Elm Fire Department in St. Louis. They were very fast and very prompt. One of our family members, I think the Holly family, Matt or Mark, Holly family, lost their home on Easter Sunday. And as a church member, we were all up there. And it comes so close to losing, you can lose property, you can replace it, but you can't replace humans. But this family is very special to the Church of Christ and needs some prayers for the family. They've got 2 teenage kids, a boy and a girl. Right now they're placed with the Daniels family in St. Louis with their families and other friends. Their Mets were in need as, they've got a place to lay their heads at night. But a lot of prayers for them, and I thank the Elma Fire Department in St. Louis for being there, because, they do their job well. As a child, my uncle did his job too, and everybody knows it. But when it hits too close to home, you need to be around your families. Another thing we've got coming up through our church, May 5th, I believe at 9 o'clock in the morning, if anybody's interested, going to St. Louis at the church out on State Road where the Moose Lodge used to be at. In our church, they're helping people clean up the community, May 5th at 9 o'clock. So if anybody's interested, come over there on State Road at their church of Resurrection of Life. Have a dinner at noon at the Methodist Church on Franklin Street and help spruce up St. Louis. So, but I'm very grateful that the fire department was there because it could have been a lot worse. It could have happened at night and we could have lost our family members of our church. But they're safe, and I'm grateful that we've got a very special fire departments all around the area. So I'm very happy that they were there to help them out, and they did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Who would like to be next?
Me.
Speak right up, you know? Did you point the camera at yourself? Did you point it up there?
It's a rough crowd, Lynn.
The ultimate
It's a long
selfie.
shot. I spent 2 hours as a Red Cross disaster volunteer with that family this afternoon. And Mark Williams also spent a good deal of time speaking with Jim, the father, this afternoon too. They did lose a dog in that fire, which happened during Easter service at the church. Their needs are definitely met through various avenues, including the Red Cross.
Well, our thanks go out to you and everybody associated. I think you're up. Staff tends to be quiet, so
I know.
we're not people that talk here.
And scared. Les Roseanne, 889 Mill Street, here in Alma. Couple of things. Talking about handicap, parking enforcement, and aesthetics. When I was still in law enforcement, working up at Central Michigan University, I undertook a project, imagine that, with handicap enforcement. And it is amazing the number of violations that you uncovered with students using grandmas who was deceased 4 years previous, hanging placard. It just went on and on. I had faculty that got their cars towed because on and on. But anyway, if you're going in Michelle, it really looks nice when you have the blue curb, but work with the city and police department as far as the enforcement capabilities. You're going to be putting more people downtown. There is nothing worse than having somebody think that's their private parking area and not have an enforcement arm to it. I believe the law is still that you have to have a pavement marking with the international symbol for the wheelchair, and you have to have an elevated sign. How high? But you have to have that in order to have enforcement action. And I know the city of Mount Pleasant's got 2 spots in front of the library, and they're not legal spots. And you have to have the curb cuts in to make them a legal spot. And just a curb, blue curb without those kind of things, like he said, it's toothless. But with the number of people that you're going to have increasingly downtown, living downtown, going down there for entertainment venues, I think you want to make sure that you work and cover all the angles so you can enforce it. Not that that's a priority, but if you need the enforcement capability, it's there. And that's just a couple extra steps. It shouldn't be that expensive. The other thing was, there was discussion last meeting about the parking spaces in front of the Opera House project. I did go and look at that, and I saw no directional signage to direct anybody. I think Eric had mentioned that there was signage directing people to go down to the alley. I went and looked down the alley, and if you were in a wheelchair, somebody's in a wheelchair or one of these Amigo type mobility devices, there was sand, from the construction project, there was sand and stuff back there. You could not have gotten a wheelchair or motorized device through there. I'm on the editorial board for the Morning Sun, and we do have a gentleman that is pretty active in the community up there, but he is wheelchair bound. And it's given a whole new perspective for what somebody that doesn't have full faculties are, what they encounter on a day-to-day basis. And I know Alma College, and Commissioner Piccolo would probably confirm this, universities in general are all about the rights of the disabled, minorities, and communities within there that don't often, kind of overlooked. And I think there may need to be something in front of something done. I know it's going to inconvenience some people, but people are going out into the street to get around that, whether they should or not, but there's no signage, there's nothing to indicate, and if you're visually impaired.
There's not an arrow sign, there's been there most days that I've seen, I've never seen it not there, going into the alley.
Did we go down, did they do it just during construction?
It's only when they're working, that's a good point.
They're taking out the front of the building today, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know.
It changes every day, probably.
Yeah, we were down there after, in the evening, so, but there was no
It
signage.
could be while they're just, maybe while they're there and then they take it out, so.
Right.
They might actually even close the alley, they might need to close it further down even.
They do
They-
close
they're
it during
close it when
certain,
they're-
Yeah.
certain procedures they need to do.
But
Yeah, I
you
think so.
You can't, as a city, you can't put in a sidewalk without the rumble strips for the visually impaired. I mean, so, there's no rumble strips, there's nothing, I mean, somebody's visually impaired, they're gonna use the
And
sidewalk.
we can't direct them into the street because there's no curb cut there either, so
Right.
we'd be sending them over the curb and that
Mhm.
wouldn't be appropriate.
But you might wanna just take a closer look at it. All I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Have motion support, all those in favor? Opposed, same sign, we're adjourned, thank you very much, have a great evening.
Separated over here. I don't know. I'm sort of wonder, and I know that idea. I think I picked that.
You guys did a great job Sunday, Mark.
Yes, I'd like to be.
Like, it's 100 degrees outside and it's roasting.